Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxford, on a show tonight is the one and only Bridgeman, my mucker GB. Evening, GB.
Good evening, boys. Nice to hear these. Looking forward to the debate tonight, mate.
How's the bridge?
I can say to all the listeners, my apologies for my coughing last night, but I hope it's better now. I can just say to yourself here, Oxford, and the techie boys in the background, good evening, and of course GB. GB, you're going to have to carry me a lot for tonight. To all the Rangers fans listening in from all over the world, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
I know when you're a world traveller, you sometimes lose a day, but it wasn't the last night, it was the night before, Bridge.
Night before, my apologies. I don't even know where I was yesterday. I don't know where I was yesterday. There you are.
It's amazing with old lemon ships there.
Oh my God. God almighty.
High on the Beecham's.
The Beecham's high. Antibiotics here. Don't start your gob. Nope.
Don't make him laugh, he'll start coughing, GB.
That's exactly what happened.
How are you, GB? We've not heard from you. How are you doing, mate? All right?
Aye, fine, mate. Bit of a long week this week, obviously, after the game and just other things behind the scenes in my life and now. But overall, happy as can be.
Yeah, it's a strange. We're going through a strange period. I can't really put my finger on it. Or I put it down to one particular thing. Obviously, you've got the Ibrox thing, which is there, and for the want of a bit of one, peed people off, and I get that. And then we've got the hangover for last season, and then we had the Champions League skids. You could put up a case about the sending off, but that performance on Sunday, it just brought the hangover back, GB.
I did, Oxford. The first 10 minutes, I thought, brilliant. There we go. We've got our something different for this season. We've got the team actually switched on and ready for the fight against Celtic. And I was very hopeful, Oxy, for the first 10 minutes. I thought we were actually quite a gear in a proper game. But I think, as the boys have touched on the previous nights, Ox, just that kind of first offside goal kind of spooked them for some reason. And we just never really got control again throughout the game. We had our moments, like the chances and stuff like that. Dessers, young McCausland, Souters won just after the start of the second half, man. Like, he just needs to bury that as well. That gets us back in the game at 2-1. But it's just, it didn't know.
If much maybes.
Yeah, it was that, Ox. It's just that it was a bit of the same old movie. The only thing I will say, Ox, is that a lot of folk was saying it's this same old team with a mindset, but that team on the park the other day there, Ox, there was a lot of new guys experiencing the Old Firm, and like it says, you can't really put it down to that they've not got the character or the mindset. It's just that, like it says, I think it's more down to the manager, Ox. My blame, for my opinion, I would say, is that it lands at Clermont's door, because he's been stubborn with these tactics, Ox, and like I says, I think we're looking maybe possible another 5 Old Firms this season. And out of at least them, Ox, I'm looking at least he's got to get at least one win out of that on this rebuild.
I don't think you're alone when your concerns in the manager, and I'll bring Bridge in a minute, but get it off your chest, GB. Me and Bridge are going to take half an hour. You just get it off your chest, mate.
Like I says, I'll not take off an hour, Ox, but like I've been banging the drum a wee bit since pre-season. I felt pre-season was very disorganised for me. I was expecting, for the way Clermont came in at first into the club, and his professionalism that he was talking about, and his standards, and how he was at Club Brugge when he built a team and all the rest of it. But I felt pre-season was shocking. We kind of stumbled. We didn't really get a settled team. And then, like I says, there with the transfer window shut, Ox, we sign a player for supposedly 4 million. Aye, that might be spread there a period of time, but we seem to find 4 million out of the blue. Why we not doing that early doors, Ox, when we know these players are moving on? It's big question marks there, that. And then, again, back to the tactics, Ox. We know the team's on a rebuild. We know that Celtic can hurt us. So why not tweak it? Why not make us hard to beat, Ox, just for that game away? I mean, it would have been a much better result.
Even in the first half.
Sorry.
Don't lose the first half and see where it goes. Would that be radical, Bridge? Don't lose the first half.
I bet the way we've been playing against them, ultra radical. Now we believe it or not, in my opinion, I've watched it again, and in my opinion, we lost the game in the first 10 minutes. We actually lost the game in the first 10 minutes. We should have scored a number of goals, and we should have taken a lot, created a lovely, playing really good, nice football, playing well, and did absolutely nothing in front of goal. And that's unforgivable. We got, obviously throughout the game we got some chances, but my God, we gave them some chances as well. So I think we actually lost the game 10. That's my honest opinion. I can't say it any better than
that. Goals change games. If you get people say, we didn't play well on the piece, but if you score a goal, you get confidence. You don't know how a game goes. You're spot on. Goals change games, and you have.
If we had scored in the first 10 minutes, they hadn't kicked a ball. They hardly kicked a ball.
And you don't know how it could have panned out.
Right.
That's a
They went into panic stages, and then the Sharks would have come out.
They didn't. We didn't, and that's the issue. But
of course.
Goals change games. Yeah. Right. What was I going to say? GB. So I get you. You're not alone in the tactics. I've got genuine concerns. I'm not a fan. Other teams play it, and when I watch it, I don't like it. GB. I mean, England played it in pretty much in the Euros, and all right, they go to the final, but were they lucky or were they good? That's up for debate. GB. I've got my views on it, but I get your point about the tactics, bro.
Oh, so the tactics seem all right against a team where you're got to be dominant. So, like against the Ross County, it kind of worked a dream because we've got all the ball and we've got all the control. But in a game like that, where we've got teams that will hit us in the break and stuff like that, we're like you've said before, mate, we're far too open. We just make it so easy. And again, we've just not got the clientele to know today what we've seen with the tracking back and stuff like that. I mean, Matondo, for that first goal, all he had to do was stick a foot in and stop Johnson putting that cross in. A wee bit of desire, and it would have got, what it says, our team's backs up with the kind of like cutting out a chance and stuff like that, breeding confidence into them. But just for him just to let him run and cut it back was just...
If it's rumoured, and I'll say it again, rumoured to be true, because not all rumours are true. You know that, with the stories about you, GB. If it's rumoured to be true that Matondo's got a grade 3 tear, right? We'll not see him at Christmas, mate. Yeah, and if again, I'm putting 2 and 2 together, if he was played, now I've got my views on Rabi, whether he should be played for us is up for debate, and I've got my own personal views. But if he was played, and then we've done that to him because we played him no fit, well, questions have to be asked, Bridge, yeah?
Well, can I say, I haven't followed all of the things, I've not picked up on all of it. You said something about Matondo there, if he's got a grade 3 what?
Tear, hamstring tear.
Is that what he's got? Oh my God.
Yeah, I've no, it's not been confirmed.
I know, but that could be, for him, that could be 3 months. You're right, that could be Christmas time. Unbelievable. How bad luck's that boy got? And how bad luck's Rangers got?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if we played him, and we played him because it looked as if, we put 2 together, GB, that he might have started and he wasn't fit, yeah? Somebody's got it wrong again, and questions have got to be asked, GB. Whether you like Matondo or that's irrelevant,
Aye, Oxen, again, it was a thing, like I says, he always said he put the best team on the park and the ones that showed it in training and stuff like that. So if he's watching Matondo in training and Matondo's he's not running the right way or something like that, then he's taking a risk, he's taking a gamble. Aye, we're going to obviously international break and stuff like that, but again, why not change up the tactics, Ox? You don't always have to go with wide wires. You can bring players in. I mean, we could have went to a 4-4-2. I mean, I know Clement's not done that, but that's just what I'm saying. It's his stubbornness. And by the way, it's his full management team. We've got 2 assistant managers there that should be advising Clement as well. I mean, they're at fault for this game as well, Ox. They're there to try and improve our team and all and guide Clement. I know Clement will have the final say, but what it says, we've brought that was another.
It depends, mate. You might be bibs and cones, know what I mean?
Well, Alex Ray, I think, is there for, like I says, keeping them up to date with kind of Rangers stuff and showing them what the club's all about and, like you says, bibs and cones. But this other guy that we brought in the summer there, this is the thing. Clement's brought this guy in and he didn't know him. It was basically, he was keen to him and it was an agreement. I am happy to bring him on with my coaching staff, but again, that's another big question mark for me, Ox. Anybody that's got a management team usually picks their own guys, and Clement's getting gain a guy. I mean, it doesn't add up to me. And then, like I says, you've got 2 boys in there that probably can't improve the team, and then it's all down to Clement. And then, when like I says, you've seen the performance at the weekend there. Very naive, Ox, because like I says, what was that? His 5th game against Celtic. And it was another kind of heavy defeat. You would think, right, hold on a minute, I'm going to change it up and try something new or try and get something out of this game so that gives me more breathing space for the season ahead.
I don't think he's had a heavy defeat, mate, in these other games if I've been player. I think everyone's been an odd goal in it. He's lost, and you could put a case up, the cup final. You could put a case up, we're unlucky, a goal disallowed. You could put a case up for the 3H game that we blew it. Them of the descending halves and the Lundstrom's moment of madness, and Balogun gets sent off in his first game and they were hanging on 2-1. You could put a case up in all 8 games. I don't know if you could put a case up on Sunday, GB, if I'm honest.
No, because in a way, Ox, that was his team on Sunday. Last season was a team that he was inheriting in a sense. So his team on Sunday was his team. It's his tactics. It was his setup. It's his pre-season, all the rest of it. And again, he went steamrolling into it and just left himself wide open for players that are not ready for his story, as he calls it. And you just think, Ox, if that's the kind of mindset that he's just got to go with it and he's just got to try and go through the season and just see how it goes and hopefully it clicks, then that's not going to be good for us as fans, because basically it tells me then they're just written off the season. They're just, like I says, using this as a kind of time to bed in, which is not good enough for the Glasgow Rangers, Ox.
Oh, but that's what you wanted to be a feeder club for Newcastle.
Well, I tell you something, Ox. If they could give us some quality up, I wouldn't mind it. I'm not wanting us to be a feeder club, but they'll on market we badly.
You never put your words across correct.
No.
You made big South Side choke on his and whatever it was eating.
His food. But again, I do think what it says, Ox, they're saying that Chris Boyd was going in on them and stuff like that, saying that the teams are miles apart and all the rest of it. But you think about it, Ox, some of the signings that we've done in the summer there, I mean, we could have easily put 2 players together and we could have went out and signed an £11 million player if we wanted to. The budget was there for it, but Clement's wanted to also add numbers. You know what I mean? So
I think is that not because we managed to move players on?
Yeah, but it's 16 players left that played.
Yeah.
We needed some bodies in, mate. We couldn't sign 4 players and just sign 1 and hope to go. We've not got enough bodies, mate. We're still a bit short.
I get it, mate, but what I'm trying to say is that there's, unfortunately, in our league, there's always a ceiling. It doesn't matter if Celtic go out and sign umpteen players. They've got to match the wages for these kind of players, like £11 million players and all the rest of it, Ox. But they'll never be able to totally get away from us because the league will not allow it because of financial fair play. So, for me, like I says, we've got a team there. I seen a team, I was quite happy with the lineup and everything. At the weekend there, we have got a team that can compete. It's just I don't think they're getting coached properly, and I don't think they're getting set up properly for their abilities.
Are you putting it out there? Are you asking the listeners? Do they think they've been coached properly? Are they happy with the tactics? Are you asking the listeners that, GB? Or are you just asking me?
No, I'm asking all of you because I don't want it just being in my head that I think Clement's not the right guy. I do think like he's got his like winning the cup, and I just feel as though we've got a different Clement now, Ox, for the guy that came in. You know what I mean?
Pressure does strange things to people, Bridge.
Look, you know when you're playing football, you've not played it at different varying positions and various positions in your lifetime playing football. After 10 minutes against them, they started to come into the game and then they started with their possession football. But they were more dangerous when they used the long ball out of defence and they cut out their midfield, and they actually, in doing so, they cut out our defence as well. They're putting 40 and 50-yard balls right through our midfield and right into the path of their forwards, who were absolutely devastating with their pace, and we couldn't match it. And why, after the first one, why were our centre halves or full-backs or whatever not thinking, wait, we might only watch out for this? Come on, everybody, get your heads up, get this, and that kind of thing. No, they do it once, they do it twice. They did it about half a dozen times against us, and we just never had an answer for them. We were very lucky they never scored easily 5 or 6 goals. And we were unfortunate we didn't score 2 or 3 ourselves, truth be told. But no, seriously. And on the way we play, that was woeful that they were allowed to hit a long ball over the top or through our midfield and the defence. And then their players can pick up on it because of speed merchants. And it's just sad. It's just sad to see. If you think, never mind watching the game again, just think what you saw the last time and wonder who's telling them what to do. The coach has got to be telling them what to do, given those situations. So if we're playing a certain style, we're pressing up high, then great, we've got the ball. We mustn't give the ball away, obviously. But when you do, at the back, where are you? In the defensive mid. I'm not saying we can't flood the place, but we need to be aware. All of us, and all of us that play football, know you need to be aware in your defence. And someone hits a ball 40 mile an hour travel and 40 or 50 yards long. My God Almighty, you know, who's going to do this for us? Who's going to catch that ball? Very few players in our team are able to do that.
In the back four was a concern for me, not only in that game, but when you seen it, it gave me concern because, if I'm honest, GB 3 and 4 Tav never been the quickest shooters, no that kind of player. Proper come in and he didn't look. He's as quick as Bridgeman to the bar, you know.
Oh, yeah, shocker.
We had umpteen ex-captains as well in the park talks as well. So it's not as if we've got guys in there that are wet behind the ears. We've got boys who have been captains at different clubs. You know what I mean? So it's, like I say, it's either the players or no. I mean, even the aftermath, Fox, when you're seeing, like this is the captain getting abuse and stuff like that, you've never seen anybody run about the captain trying to defend him. And again, that's another feeling in the club box. Who at the club is the security-wise thinking it's a smart idea to take the players back to Ibrox when you've had Edmondson House sitting in there watching the game, getting like serving pints and all the rest of it. Again, it's just another failing of the club. Shocking.
So, tell me about that. What happened?
When the team came back to Ibrox, there was some people having words with the team.
Yes, I saw a wee video about that. Sorry, Oxter, I saw a wee video about that. I was shocked at that.
It's not you watch a blue video, was it?
No, you know what I mean. It was. I saw it, and obviously I don't know who the person was or the people were.
No.
But they were. I think I mentioned it on Tuesday night. They were giving Tab some stick, particularly
as much as I'm frustrated with his performances, and I do think his legs have gone, I still don't think he deserves that.
No Rangers player deserves that. You can't come out and attack the players.
Whether he should be in the team is all up for debate, and I know he's well paid. I get all that, GB, but I don't think he deserves that.
I think the chap who did it. I was just going to say, does anybody know if the chap was a season ticket holder or anything?
Don't know.
Nah. And Bridge, that side, let's say, if the boy wants to vent, that's up to him. I mean, it's him that's put himself out there to do it. But where I was more annoyed, Bridge, is that says we're meant to be a team, and Tav was left to deal with that basically himself. I never seen any players stop. They just kept walking. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that to stop and have an argument with the guy, but I don't know. If that was my mate, I'd be right beside him and try to help him. I wouldn't be this, like I say, just leaving Tav to deal with it. And that was telling me a wee bit as well about the team, where their mindset's at. I mean, with the whole captaincy and stuff like that. Because I tell you something, see if it was like Barry Ferguson times or, like I say, captains of the past, you would have seen that full team shouting back at that boy. You would have just seen.
Can I just say that no player.
I'm going to tell you two, is it your first time on the show? The two you
sorry, pal. Sorry. You just got me heated up there.
All right, I know you like to be heated up because these world cruises you go on, but carry on.
I was just going to say that nobody should be allowed to approach our players with the freedom that they were allowed to do so. I don't know how many there were in total, but I know there was at least one who was given a laldy, and there was a few others round about him, and there might have been a dozen or so at the side. I don't know. But where's the team security? Where is it? Why are we walking players out on their own, knowing these people are around? I'm sorry, it's just not good enough. And maybe the club didn't expect it, so there may be some excuses in there.
Maybe they were hoping that we would all be over them because we won 4-0, but they got that right.
Yeah. All I'm meaning is that they should never be allowed to walk out of Ibrox after a big defeat. They should never be allowed to walk out of Ibrox on their own. Security should be out there. Anything could happen.
Well, I get people's frustrations, and people are entitled to their opinion, and of course, but when it gets personal, it becomes different, and listen, it's done, and hopefully it doesn't happen again because we can get the team sorted and we can move on. But that's up for debate. Listen, see your thoughts and what you're saying there, GB. I don't think you're alone, and that gives me cause for concerns. I'm struggling sometimes with the tactics. I've also struggled with the fact is that the interviews now, they're getting contradictory, and you're going off topic and you're getting some random stuff considering where he was when he came in the door. And I can only put it down to pressure, GB.
Ajax just in trying to find a kind of an excuse to get out of the question kind of thing. I mean, this is the Ross County stuff, the quotes after the game, and even the quotes saying that the Rangers and Celtic had the same shots and goals, stuff like that. You're just like, you just make yourself look silly, and that's one thing, like you say, Zox. It must be the pressure because see when Clermont first came in, he never bit, he never contradicted himself or anything like that. He was, like I says, he was on the money. And that, like when he first came in, I was like, I think we've got a proper manager here. But as times went on, Ox, like I says, it's all right beating everybody else, but when you're coming up against Celtic, it was kind of close last season, but he's now building a team. I'm not saying for him to be sacked, Ox, or anything like that. I think he's got to have this season. But if it's another, like I says, if we've got another 5 All Firms coming up and they're all 5 defeats, then it's something the board's got to seriously look at because you can't beat everybody else and then, like I says, not even leave a glove on Celtic at all. There's got to be something there that you can see there's progression. That's how Gerrard got his time, Ox, because we could see that he could compete against Celtic. Whether Clermont can do that, well, time will tell.
It's your judge. The bread and butter games, you're expecting victories, a majority of the time, Bridge, but you're judged in big games, players, managers, yeah.
Oh, the pressure's enormous.
You don't hear people talking about Alan McCoy's goals against Raith Rovers, do you?
No. But the big game, of course, there's only, in our mind, there's really only one big game or one big club that we want to beat, and that's the old enemy, from our perspective, them across the city. So, and they're the same. They've got a huge game against us every time. But politically, football politics, that is, they're winning every single time. They come out with these wee odd statements, and before you know it, they're banning the fans. We don't want your fans in Parkhead, right? But because of that, because we don't think you're going to help us at Ibrox, we're not going to go. You're not coming to Parkhead, and we're not coming to Ibrox. But it's only for this. So you get all the crap about the Ibrox movement and so on and so forth. I believe all that was kind of engineered. Unfortunately, our board let themselves down with that, a lot of that. But all of a sudden, you find out that, look at this. It just so happens that we're going to play Celtic at Parkhead and no fans in it. And what's going to happen? Oh, they've got a fortnight off it. So you got 2 weeks to let your mind drain your brain away, thinking that's all it was. They absolutely murdered us, and they're celebrating. They can go on holiday or whatever they're going to do, and we can't. We can't leave it alone. We want to talk about it all the time, and
I don't know if we do, but I'd love to know talking about it.
Oh, of course, and that's what I'm saying. We don't want to talk about it, but it just bites you, I'm sorry. I'm taking you back into that again. I do apologise.
So we also had the speculation about Danilo today. I think you wanted to cover GB before we get the phone lines opened.
Ox, again, alarming. I can't fully blame Clement. Maybe he's been told something different, Ox. But again, he was coming out in the time when David Edgar asked him the question, is everything all right with Danilo? Is everything looking all right? And he came back out with saying, no, it's just the way he walks. And then there you go. About, a couple of weeks down the line, he's looking now, he's needing, according to 4 lads, he's needing an operation and he's possibly going to be out for 4 weeks. Our most expensive striker in the team as it stands now. Can he get minutes? Can he get him fit? Another hammer blow in a sense, Ox, because it's £6 million that's not getting played.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him. I feel first and foremost, Bridge, I feel sorry with his 2 injuries because they were both compact injuries, yeah? Contact. Talking about your makeup there, Bridge. Contact injuries, firstly when he got his jaw smashed and then he got then he got caught, I'm being polite, caught on the knee.
Yeah. Caught on it. They're 2 out and out assaults, both of them. Out and out assaults, in my language. That they should never have been allowed to get away with that. And I bet there wasn't even a booking. There wasn't a booking in the first one. There wasn't even a foul. There you go. It's just a clash of heads. Let go on with it. No, I'm sorry. That is never a clash of heads. And that one against him on his knee. No, sorry. It's just. I remember. What was a wee guy's name that came from Blackburn? Was it Blackburn? Scottish international player, smashing Graham. No, I can't remember his name. But he was only on the park 10 minutes. I was only get booted, and that was him off, and injured for nearly the season. Do you remember Graham?
You're talking about Graham Dorrans.
Say that again.
Graham Dorrans.
Dorrans, that's him. Remember when he got injured?
Kilmarnock, I think it was against Kilmarnock, wasn't it?
That's right. Shocking stuff, and they get away with it. They just get away with it. Every time. Oh, my, we've started on again. I'm sorry for the rant.
You need to stop ranting. You need to get some medication for him, GB, yeah?
Mayor Beecham's, I think the man needs it.
Mayor Beecham's, aye.
I think he's had enough powder today and it wasn't talcum. Right, okay. We'll get these phone lines opened.
Yeah, let's hear for the callers, Ox.
Yep. Let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, let's hear from you. Give your thoughts. This GB's got a point, man. What's been touched on a lot the other night, but yeah, we've been pretty strong on it. You're not alone, GB. As I said, I think there's several people. I don't know. Twisting, stick or twist. That's the scenario, and we've twisted the last three. Gio and then Beale and Clement, and maybe the mistake was we should have stopped with Gio, Bridgeman.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you at all. I think I'm disappointed. I was gutted when we lost Gerrard, and I was absolutely horrified when we lost Gio. World class player and a great coach as well. And I don't know what it was. What happened at Ibrox? I don't know. It's so sad because in a way, and you're going to do something else, and somebody will get the benefit of his experience. I don't know why did we fall out with him? I've got no idea.
I think it was just a run of results, mate. It's just a run of results, domestically, and then the European scenario. And players, rightly or wrongly, GB, the manager goes in players' side, didn't he?
I do, Ox. I think the Gio one, Bridgeman, was just purely, the heavy defeats that we took off Celtic. I mean, that John McLaughlin performance, I think it was 4-1, that game. I think that was the final straw for me when the first game of the season, and we got beat 4-1 after them. That was the end of me for Gio. He just couldn't grasp Celtic either, and this is the thing with Comont's getting.
Can I just say, look, we have to be realistic as well. Rangers fans need to be realistic. We haven't got a quality team. We just don't have it, and we never had it for the last 2 or 3 seasons. We need to get quality into our team, and it might take another 2 or 3 years. I don't know if we'll ever get it.
We've been joined by Bam Bam. How are we doing, mate?
100%, guys.
Yeah, no heard from you for a while.
I'd just like to say, Bridgeman and yourself, legends, and I'm just like to say you're doing a grand job.
Cheers, mate. No heard from you for a long time, mate.
Yeah. Been out trucking the lorry. I'm a lorry driver, so I'm out quite often, but I felt like I needed to call in tonight.
Right, get it off your chest. The floor's yours, mate.
First of all, I'd just like to say about the match on Sunday. I didn't think we would win on Sunday. I thought, we'd give a better account of ourselves, but I have to say that the manager had all week to set us up, and it ended up a shambles, to be honest. It was poor, and you have to say that has to come down to poor coaching. He had all week to set them up, and it was very, very poor.
Well, I think we touched on that. There's only one man to take that question tonight, GB.
Cheers, Ox. Nice to hear from you, mate. I totally agree with you. It was on Common. I know, the players in the game and stuff like that, there's certain ones that could have tried a lot better. We kind of know Rabbi Matondo now was probably carrying an injury. But there's certain ones in the squad that didn't, cover themselves in glory. But apart from that, if that's the case, if the squad themselves has got limitations, then it's down to Common to get the best out of the squad that he's got at this time, and that is got to be down to changing tactics. You've got to make yourself hard to beat first, and then they've not got a great defence. We keep constantly making their defence look like Barcelona. They're there to be got at, and yet we make Taylor and Johnson and Vickers and Scales and all the rest of it look like pure world beaters. I mean, there's lesser teams that's went to Celtic Park, like Hearts and Camargue and all the rest of it, and got points off them. We should be, with the talent that we've got in our squad, we should be doing a lot better. And that's coming back to the manager and his management team.
Bridgman.
Certainly don't disagree. I certainly don't disagree with you on that. Look, you can definitely give a lot of blame, some of the blame, onto the manager and his coaching staff, and the way, going by the way the player looked to be coached. But the players themselves, they just seemed, on Saturday, they just seemed unaware of what was going on. After 10 minutes playing so really playing well and high pressing, and then something happened, and I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was scoring the goal and they get chalked off, but it just seemed to fall off a cliff with this the way they wanted to play. And players that play for Rangers shouldn't be falling off a cliff and losing themselves for the rest of the game. It just shouldn't be happening. I don't know what it is. So they might be falling out by the manager, or they might just be feeling really pretty bad about the way they're playing and so on and so forth. But for God's sake, they'd only played 10 or 15 minutes, and all of a sudden the game's gone. You know, and that's the way. I think that's the way it looked to me anyway. And I don't know how they're going to go over that. They have to either trust the manager or not. And if they don't trust the manager, and I'm talking about all the players and all the fans, if they don't trust the manager, he needs to go. We need to get someone in that we can trust. I don't know if Clement will ever make people happy insofar as his coaching. There you go. I don't know.
Big statement. Do you want to come in, Ban?
Yeah, I would just like to say, I'll go from the players here. Tavernier, I've always found that it takes him every season at least 7-8 games to get going. You look at Shooter there, he is a player we signed from Hearts, and he's a player that maybe is better when the other team has the ball rather than when he has the ball. We have Proper there that came in. The guy, it's only early stages, so I'm not going to throw him under the bus, but he just looks weak. Hefty, left back. He's a young guy. I think he'll be okay. He can learn. Our best signing probably this summer has been Barron, free transfer from Aberdeen. He's Scottish. He knows what it means to be a Ranger. There's maybe not too many in that squad that knows what it means to be a Ranger. Diamante, he looked frustrated there on Sunday, and I can understand why he's frustrated, because I can maybe tell that he is maybe thinking, these tactics, we're trying something here and it's not working. The other players, Dessers, he needs 5 chances to score 1. Cherney out in the wing looks meek, he looks weak. Montondo the same. McCausland came on. I don't blame McCausland because he's a young player, and a lot of people are throwing McCausland under the bus, but we can't throw the young players under the bus. These are young guys, and they'll hopefully only get better. But the senior players, like I say, Proper, you can maybe even say Diamante, but I could tell Diamante was a little bit frustrated there. I could tell the last few games and stuff, he seems a frustrated figure that maybe what he's being told is not what he is seeing on the pitch, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. And listen, there's their comments about some of our players, you know. I noticed you never mentioned Jeffy there, yeah?
Yeah, Jeffy, I wouldn't blame him. He's a young player, and hopefully young players only get better. He's only played half a dozen games for us, and he looks good going forward. He can work on his defence, but he looks energetic, he looks athletic, and that's what we need. We need players that have that energy, have athleticism. He looks like he's a fit boy. Some of the other players, like you were saying about Danilo, Proper, they're coming from a league where it's not very physical, and maybe Alex Raymond needs to say to these guys, listen, first and foremost, you need to protect yourself. If that means fouling another player, to protect yourself, don't expect the referee to give you a free kick, because it's not going to happen. Protect yourself first. If you give away a foul, okay, but these players need to learn how to protect themselves, because Dessers was the same. He's throwing himself about there. He's looking at the referee. Play the game first, and then if it, you know what I mean. If it's not bad, then it's up to the referee. But play the game first. Don't expect anything off the referee.
Fair comment. And you come, GB.
Aye, great points. What I've told you today kind of attitude, and there you go. We're too structured, and we're just allowing them to play runners all the time. Whereas they've got kind of free reign in their team to go and shut down the ball, go and win the ball back, and then somebody else will break in the attack. And this is again comes back to Clement. He's too structured. He's like I says, he's got them tell what their jobs is, what their roles is. But with that, there's no flexibility. There's no, hold on a minute, I'm going to go and chase that guy down and win the ball back from my team.
I'm going to be honest. Dessers isn't catching anybody. Bridgman.
I know, mate, but sorry, just to cut in, but there's more, there's more that he should be doing in a game, and it just looks as though he's told to sit up there, hopefully catch the ball, and then, bury the ball or whatever, and wait for a chance to drop to him. That team that you're seeing is playing against, every single one of them are running their socks off against us.
Aye.
There's good points, Oxshare, that you're saying, but I have to say, the first maybe 20-25 minutes with Dessers, you saw a lot of the good and the bad. When Dessers attacks, we're expecting Dessers to rumble the centre half up. The centre half, one of them is walking about, strolling about the park, and the other one is passing the ball around them. And that's exactly what people see. I don't know whether anybody else sees it, and I'm making this up, I just see Dessers being, I don't know, that gets himself, he allows himself to get caught in a wee triangle between the two centre halves and the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper passes it to one, who's the back of the goalkeeper out to the other one, and you're going to exhaust yourself chasing it. Obviously, he needs help for that, but seriously, it's no challenging him in the way we expect a centre half to be challenged by our centre forward. He doesn't win very many balls against the centre halves. He doesn't head many balls. So I don't know what we're expecting from Dessers. I think I'm expecting a lot more than they're getting, but it really does. It doesn't augur well for us, not in the least.
Well, what am I expecting him is to stay on side and then take his chances, mate. And that was a moment in the first 10 minutes. Now, he didn't take the chance, but he still had went offside. And with VAR, I keep saying it, GB, with VAR, your strikers need to be coached differently. You play to be onside, no try to gain an advantage by sneaking offside. Because if you do get the goal and then it goes back to VAR and your thumbnail's offside, it's getting chopped off. It's changed that position. So I want him to put the ball in the net. I take your point about chasing back. That's part of the game, but I'd rather he does his job first and foremost, brother.
100%, Ox, and that's the thing. Right. See, if he's got limitation, Ox, he should be working to it. Like we should be working to what his abilities are. No trying to make him something he's no. And again, that's down to Clement, Ox.
Yes, before we go back to Bam Bam, talking about people with limited ability. David.
Oh dear.
Good evening, boys. Good evening, Bridge, JB, and the famous Socks Chair. How are we?
The famous Socks Chair. I love it.
You all right?
Yeah, of course. Life goes on, guys. Get a grip yourselves. I think one of the problems that listening to all the comments and different responses for this, I mean, Clement's getting in the neck here, there, and everywhere. But he can only put out what he's got available at the moment. And the bottom line of that is they're not good enough. It doesn't matter everybody saying he should be doing this and he should be doing that. The quality of what we have on the park, that isn't good enough. And you can't just turn, if something's not working, you try and sort it. And he's trying it, and it's not working. So we've got to be a bit very patient to see if we can get some decent players into the park. At the moment, the ones that are there are not good enough. I don't know what you think of that, guys.
I'll bring Bam Bam in. Bam Bam, when you come, mate.
Well, Kilmarnock aren't good enough, but they still beat Celtic last year, didn't they?
Good.
You know, you can set a team up. You might not be good enough 11-11, but you can set up a team to win a football match, one way or the other. There's many ways to skin a cat, as I say.
Davey, in you come, mate.
No, I'm not buying that one. No, we're not good enough. We're not good enough. No matter what anybody else's results against that man came up. I don't know. I'm not interested in anybody else's results against the man came up. We've got players there that shouldn't be there. When you're talking about other teams playing, they're playing as a team. We're not playing as a team. Because a lot of them, the heart's not in it. When you talk about Commander and any other teams that gear up mob a game, they're all playing for each other and they're playing for that shirt. We've got empty jerseys there, guys, and you've got to admit it. It's there to see.
Who's your empty jerseys, David?
Sorry?
Who's your empty jerseys?
Well, Matonzo for a start.
Yeah, well, it was, he's big games, he's lack of desire, but it looks as if, well, no, I'm putting two and two together here, David, I might be wrong. It looks as if we put a guy on the park who's a speed merchant, and you know how speedy you are running away to the bar, right?
Yes, right.
Right. So, and also try to skip on trains without pain, but that's another story. Let me tell that one another. Right. So, but looks as if we put a guy who's a speed merchant on with a hamstring issue. Now, I don't think in professional football you should put anybody on the pitch with a hamstring issue, but you've multiplied that worse when the guy's a speed merchant. And look, is Batondo good enough for us? You said the empty jersey. He hasn't done a lot for us the game before. Yeah, he was all right, but big games, what's he done? He's been a passenger yesterday.
I agree with you, Ox. I totally agree with you. But tell me this, did Tavernier have a hamstring problem?
No, but no.
No, and a few others must have had hamstring problems then.
Yeah, but his legs have gone, Davey. That's a different debate.
But why is he playing? Why is he playing him there? I mean, see, I seen that. Sorry for interrupting. I seen that vile video for the first time today. That idiot giving Tavernier dogs abuse at Ibrox. And that's the level we're dragging ourselves down to. And that's not on. Not on. No matter what he's thinking of the guy as a football player. That's not on. And this is just continuing and continuing to... we are where we are, guys. But hopefully it'll get better. Hopefully.
James Henry Tavernier, to use Robert Weatherall's name from his song name. He did. No way he deserves that. No way. In fact, as Brad said, I don't think any players do. You've got your issues with him, but you've got to conduct yourself properly. I can't, Davey. I know you can't. GB.
Hi, David. David, you get a point. We're no good enough to know, but where I do agree with Bam Bam is that, mate, I think there's a better way to go about a game. And like you're saying there with Tav getting packed in, if Tav's not ready or Matondo's not ready, it comes back on the manager. And you've got to fix the tactics to suit yourself to give you at least a fighting chance. I mean, like I says, I would have been quite happy at the weekend if we came away with a draw, because it gives him then time to still keep building this squad. But if he's totally stubborn and wanting to stick to his tactics and he's wanting to fling guys under the bus like Tav and Matondo and all the rest of it, then he's only got to mount the pressure on himself. Whereas we're what Bam Bam's saying, you've had the likes of Hearts, you've had the likes of Kamar turn up and basically make it a rubbish game against them, but they've sneaked a point away. And that's what I think Clermont's not willing to try and, let us say, maybe stifle them, make them have a horrible day at the office in the sense that they can't play their game that they want to play. We just allowed them, I mean, look at the space Kyogo had for his goal. I mean, we just allowed them to just hit a free shot. That's not on. That's down to the tactics. I mean, and that's, again, where the manager's got to get that sorted. He can't go through the whole season like that, because, like I says, there'll be more guys.
Sorry for interrupting, but I agree with you totally there, what you're saying. But what about the goalie?
Oh, the goalie's not played well 6 months, David. Bam Bam, then Bridgman.
Yeah, I think the goalie, he needs more protection. You know, he can only do so much at the end of the day. Yes, he was out of position then, but there was nobody in front of the defence. If it was me, I wouldn't have pressed that Celtic team until they came over the halfway line. You know, let them have the ball at the back. We'll sit in to half time at least, and then play your game in the second half. To come out and try and play that game, you're playing in the Celtic's hands. You know, it was a bit naive. I think it was a bit naive, but if he came out with them tactics in the second half after sitting in the first half, but it's never here or there. But at the end of the day, the players the Rangers have now, we all know they're not good enough. So we have to set the team up, the team that is better than us. We have to set them up to try and get a result in a game. And the thing was, we set them up and we played straight into Celtic's hands. They just passed around us because half the team press, half the team don't. And then our midfield was too high up. There was nobody protecting the back four, and we were totally exposed.
Yeah, I don't disagree with some of that. Bam Bam. In you come, Bridge.
Yeah, you know, the things we're saying, at the back end of it, what we're meaning is all there. I think most Rangers fans would agree. I think Davey was getting a bit upset because Rangers fans are shouting and bawling. Well, we had a wee bit of discussion with that earlier. And as far as I'm concerned, they should never be left on their own, the players. No matter what fans are outside or whether it's clear, there should be security people getting them out of there and getting them wherever they're going. They'll all be going onto a bus or some sort of transport, get them on the bus, and anybody that's within 20 yards of them, get them out of the way. You know, just get them out of the way, no matter what it is. You shouldn't be allowed that to happen. That's going to fly around, what do you call it, whatever it is, it's Twitter or whatever is going to be on. It's going to be flying all over there, and there was another embarrassing moment for Rangers and their players. That allowing that fan. The fans need to know. The manager needs to tell if the manager's got to speak to the fans, he needs to be able to come out and say the right words. And I don't think he is. People are not trusting the manager at the moment because he's coming out and he's saying he's not being truthful with himself. Let's put it that way. The people start to think what he's saying, and he needs to come out and be more truthful. I said it Tuesday night when I wasn't coughing. And I says, the first thing we need to do, Mr. Clement, is get him when he's in an interview, don't say anything at all. Say yes and no. Answer the question yes and no. Don't say it to anyone. Let's go out. Because sometimes you get caught up in your own sort of design and you're trying to explain things to someone and sometimes you just can't do it. And they're not even interested in what you're saying, to be honest. And now all of a sudden you find out that you're very negative and everybody loves it. All the press do anyway. And the fans are left, what's he said? What's actually going on? We just don't know. And Mr. Clement, please change and get it right.
Well, the overreaction, that's the wrong words. The reaction will take over away. The reaction, it's got to be tempered when people are dealing with the players when they get back to the stadium. Like, yeah, they're entitled to be angry and upset, but there's always a line. There's always a line, you know, and I get it when passions run high. We've all done things in the spur of the moment that we maybe regret, you know, when you're maybe peed off, you know. But there's lines, Davey.
You left me at Mount Florida.
I did, mate. I did. Aye. I'm not denying it. I'm sorry. I thought I'd done my bit.
I was ready to go for 2 pies. See if I could see Stevie. No, you're right, Ox. You're spot on.
You know, I get the passions. I understand it. I understand the disappointment. You know, I get it. But I just, if you want to cheer their team and the way to get their motors and that's fine. But personal stuff, I don't know. There's a line, you know. But GB, taking Bam Bam's point, I see it slightly different for Davey. I think you can make things more difficult and you get your shape right. And I think part of the problem is when you just do the one tactic, the one shape. Yeah, this problem with Warburton as well back in the day. You know, teams just to stop you playing first of all, and then they know where your weaknesses are. Because you do the same thing all the time, mate.
Yeah, you're too structured. Like it says, that nobody's willing to change it because they've been told that's what I want you to do. And again, we've seen what happens when a player doesn't do what he's told. You know what I mean? So this is, again, Clement's got to take the learnings for this. He needs his staff to help him to understand going into this next game. He says the next game he'll be ready, Ox. Well, I really do hope he is, because I do want it to work for him, but I just think his stubbornness will end up costing him, Ox.
Well, aye. If it's your way to the highway and you keep getting around, there's only going to be one outcome. Bam, bam, eh?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the bigger picture with that, if you look at our last couple of managers, it's been the same story. We get a new manager comes in, we get the bounce, the players respond, they play better, and you think, okay. And then after that initial period, it's the same old story. The players don't believe in what's being told them or whatever. It goes downhill. And I have to say, if you look at the bigger picture, Scottish football in total, I mean, we've got Celtic in the Champions League, Rangers in the Europa League, and Hearts in the Conference League. I mean, I have to say, Larne have qualified for the Conference League. It's the first time an Irish league team have qualified for Europe. I mean, Larne, I have a season ticket. I'm part of Pakenham Rangers Supporters Club, but I also have a season ticket at Linfield Football Club. And Larne are a very small club in the Irish League, and they're qualifying for Europe. I mean, you have to take a look back, the bigger picture here for Scottish football. There needs to be a bigger league for teams to bring through younger players and more development. Because what you're seeing now is even Northern Ireland League is starting to catch up.
Well, there you go. Anyway, we've reached that time in the evening where we're going to have a tune, so if you don't mind, gentlemen, get yourself on mute. And if you're not back after the tune, Davey, you have a nice Christmas, and I'll catch up with you soon, mate, all right?
Who wear the royal blue. They win by night, they win by day, with loyal hearts so true. Their fame is known in foreign lands, where they have won renown. process now demands a valiant victor's crown. Let hearts and Celtic rise and fall, they have never got a clue, but brightly shines upon them all the poison royal blue. If you would gang take Copeland Road to see the lads in blue, you'll always find a welcome there for gods like me and you. The Rangers fans will chant their hymn, their battle cry proclaim. Oh, follow Rangers on, the cry will be the same. Let hearts and Celtic rise and fall, they have never got a clue, but brightly shines upon them all the poison royal blue. Let hearts and Celtic rise and fall, they have never got a clue, but brightly shines upon them all the boys in royal blue.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, that was an old tune and an old record you could hear. A golden oldie. Just like old Davy, a golden oldie.
Must have put that out of a bar somewhere.
Yeah. You must have liked the tune at least, Davy, yeah?
No, I was away next door playing the Monday cleaner.
You should have said we'd have put on a longer tune, Davy.
Very good, I like it. Can I just say something before we start the show again? Regarding, we're talking about the team, right? We're talking about we should be more streetwise and do this and defend. Do you not agree that we've not got a team that can do that? We can't park the bus because we've not got good enough place to park the bus.
I think we're short in the midfield, mate. I think if you look at it, you could only have put Raskin, who's not played for weeks, and you could argue Bam Bam that he wasn't fit, then GB can come back in. You know, so really your personnel, well, you've got Dowell, who's, let's be honest, has done very little for us, and I think it would be time to shake hands if hopefully a deal could be made in January. He might make me eat my words in the next few weeks, but highly unlikely. You know, could you go with a 4-5-1 with having a tight midfield, no with the personnel? I think that's a fair comment. Bam Bam and then GB.
Yeah, I think the squad is extremely tight. You know, talking about injuries to another one there. If you got a couple of injuries in midfield, we're very, very short. But we've got Billy Rice in there. Apparently he's coming off an injury from last year, but I would like to hope that maybe give him a bit of time. I mean, I thought he would have got a bit of time against Ross County, but obviously not. But the midfield is a bit worrying. Clement, when he first came in, he seemed to bypass the midfield, really. Like, he seemed to get the ball forward more than it went through midfield, and now he seems to be going through the midfield a bit more when really the midfield is probably weaker than it was last year. But it's the same story. Gio was in charge too, and I remember thinking maybe at the end of the first season he was there, he gave Cole McKinnon and a few young guys a chance. And then I think the next season the pressure came on, and he stopped giving the young guys a chance. And maybe thought that maybe if he kept with the young guys, then the players would have had, or the fans would have had something to hold on to in terms of getting frustrations and things like that. But we don't know if these guys are good enough unless you give them a chance.
GB.
That's the thing, but I agree, mate. It's about the chance, isn't it? It's about taking the chance and changing something. So again, as that come on, changing like the tactics to try and let's just help the team as it stands now. It might be that he needs time to build the team, get the players in that he wants with the transfer windows, and then he can stick with his tactics that he's wanting. But I've no doubt that the tactics that he's using against everybody else in the league will be fine. I think we will. Like I say, I think we'll breeze to second place. But if we
100%.
keep using this tactic, I think if we keep using these tactics against Celtic, we're just leaving ourselves wide open. And our greatest manager, Walter Smith, was brilliant at going to Celtic Park and at home at times against them and playing probably horrible football, but getting a result. And that's how he won titles. He would grind out a 1-0 result against them and get the 3 points and up the road. And this is where this needs to be a wee bit more streetwise.
You remember Stevie G? We beat them 1-0 at Ibrox and we never had an effort in target.
Ox, that's what I'm saying. Just it's all about in the league. It's all about getting the points. And like I said, at the weekend there, I think most days would have probably been happy if we got away with a draw and gave the manager time to keep building. But when he goes out there,
we may not have been happy, but we were happier.
and that's it, Ox, because they would have gave him the time then as fans to say, right, well, he's got a decent enough result there. We can give him the time now to continue on his project. But like I says, when the tactics are just like this, wide open like that, and we're just getting cut open, and we've seen the same last season, we're like that, you're clearly no learning here.
Hi, man. It's a unique fixture, Bridgeman, yeah?
Absolutely. And actually, it's very, both of the clubs are very imposing, and they like to impose on each other. And obviously, the one that can impose the most are going to run, nearly always going to run home and be the victors. And we don't seem able to impose for great lengths during a game. First 10, maybe 15 minutes even of that game, we imposed ourselves on them, high press, and it was working very well. And they're a midfield who are one of the quickest midfields in the country at the moment, if not the quickest. They can turn and move very quickly, but we didn't give them a chance. But as I say, I don't know what it was, them getting that goal never chalked off, and the Rangers must have just switched off. We're Rangers players. Anyway, it's the toughest game in any league, in any country in the world. It's the toughest game. Reputational wise, it is the toughest. And we haven't been very good for a number of years now, and we need to find a way of getting a correction to that. That must be corrected, and as soon as possible. However, we're not stupid. The Rangers fans are not daft. They see what they see, and they see what's happening from the board down. If there's any money in our club, it's trickling down. We had a fabulous opportunity last season to win that league, and we could. If we'd have won that league, look at the fortune that would have been coming our way, £50 million. Oh my God, guys, think about it. It's 50 million quid into the bank.
Yeah.
Great stuff. It's not there anymore. It's a dream. And not only that, when we get the second chance to get a qualifying victory, we got hosed. Absolutely hosed. So there's no escape for us. No escape at all. We need to win games. And look, how many games have we played in the season? So far, maybe played 4 or 5 games. Have we won any? We beat Ross County by a number. But for God's sake, what's the matter with us? It's not there. Something's not quite right.
Yeah. I think that's the point Bam Bam's making. Yeah, Bam Bam.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the problem is we don't have enough, and I hate saying this because I've heard it all over the. Don't have enough Rangers men in the team. If you look at young Connor Barron, he's come in there from Aberdeen, free transfer, and he gets it straight away. He knows what it means for Rangers to draw a game, to lose a game, to win a game. He knows that second is nothing. These other players are coming in and they don't get it. They don't realise that second is last. Go ahead.
I'll cut across you. I think we've been joined by Joan. Yeah. Evening, Joan.
Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? Well, I know
Hi, Joan.
you're all doing that. So
Listen, it's not a bank holiday this weekend, so I've got my work on Monday, no Tuesday, but the floor's yours, John. All right, carry on.
okay, I'm still scunnered right enough. I'm suffering, I must admit, the Sunday.
Aye.
But it's nothing that I'm no a fan. Come on, I said it when I come last season, and what I said about this season starting, but he's holding back. I don't know. I can't understand it. He doesn't seem to be the same man. Can we're talking about interviews and things. There's something there, and he's just no letting go.
I get it. I don't know if it's pressure or maybe, I don't know. I get what you're saying. I don't think you're alone again in these thinking, but I can't put my finger on it, John.
I just feel sometimes that it's like he wants to say, and then sometimes he tries to say really what he wants, and then says the wrong thing. You know what I mean? I don't know.
What I have noticed, but every time you phone in, all Davey's on. Davey, carry on.
How you doing, sweetheart? Good to hear you.
Davey, I'm fine, thanks. I'm fine.
I send all my love to you.
Same back, Davey. Don't tell them.
No, I don't know. Don't worry about it. You're spot on, John. But what you've got to remember is when everybody's all jumping on the bandwagon about what he's not doing and what he should be doing, he's trying to sort out that mess. And he's not had a lot of time, and he's not getting great players in. But he's trying to sort them out. But you don't get the time at Ibrox or any club. It's a difficult, it's a catch-22 scenario here. But he can't just snap his fingers and turn them into a good team. It's going to take a wee bit, and we've not got the patience to wait. If the few results don't start turning up, then he's going to be in the sweatbox. But he's still got to give him that wee bit of leeway, because he's trying to sort a mess that he's inherited. And you can't just do it in even 8 months or 9 months or even a year. It doesn't work that way.
That's right. But when you see what he's did, his system, when he's setting up that team, it's not working. And these guys, the players, are just they're no managing to do what's after them. And if they are, they're like saying Sunday, it's like they're leaving themselves wide open.
GB.
They are, and especially with the comments that he comes out with as well, leaves us wide open for mere criticism and stuff like that. But I agree with Davey. The man does need time to build, but during that time, like I says, he's got to get. I have no doubt that he'll get the results against the rest of the teams in the SPFL. I think we've got a good enough team there, as long as they're set up properly and we use them to their strengths, that they'll be able to handle anything that's flung at them. It's just the games against like Celtic that I think he's just got to be a wee bit more tactically aware than now, until he gets the players that he thinks that can do proper damage in the games. But when you're watching them consistently go into these old firms and you're seeing the same goals all the time, you're seeing the same mistakes all the time, then that's when it comes back to the tactics for me. That's him no learning, and he's no passing any learnings on to the team either, because the team are that structured that they're making the same mistakes, and it's there for everybody to see.
That's right. You're right enough. It's very. I mean, it's. I can't get out and about now to the games because of my mobility, and watching it on TV is driving me nuts. Because I just want to take that television and just like switch it off, or I can't say I want to put it through the window right enough because it's just been here and don't want to waste it. But there's, and the other thing I wanted to speak about was what you were talking about, the players taking the crap that they've got to take to the supporters. And Taverner took it last year. He got it right in the neck last year for some of the supporters, and so did Jack Butland.
After the Aberdeen game, wasn't it?
Aye, and again it was quite bad, and I think there was something mentioned about his kids in the car across the road or somewhere waiting, and he wasn't pleased.
Oh, listen, it's hard to condone that as much as you're frustrated. I don't know what it achieves. That's the problem. Yeah, what you'd like to think that Tav knows how we all feel, you know. Whether it's been the team or that, Joan, that's up for debate. But I don't think he deserves that. Yeah.
No, I don't think so either. It doesn't. I mean, and I'm the same as a lot of people who do. I just feel like he does, even if he's in the one hat and then he's done. He's done. He seems so tired.
He's played a lot of football for us in a relatively short period of time. You know, some people
definitely has.
Kmart Roof would have to play the game to 110 to catch up with Tav's performances. You know, Bam Bam.
That's right. And that year we won the 55. I mean, he was on that park nearly every game, home, away, the Europe games, etc., the Cup games. He was there all the time.
Yeah, and that's how I think Bam Bam. Some people think his legs have went, because it happens to us all. You know, it's not happened to White yet, but it's happened to Bridget.
Yeah. Well, it's happened to me.
Right, Joan, your name's no Bam Bam, right? And you come Bam Bam.
Sorry.
Like I said, I think usually every season I seem to think that Tavernier takes 7-8 games to get going, then he has 7-8 games on a bounce where he's good, and then it seems to be a cycle with Tavernier, to be honest. I have to say too, Clement, I agree with GB. We probably will beat everybody else in that league. But the thing gets me is maybe Clement doesn't want the big character in the dressing room. He wants to be the big character in the dressing room, and I think you need a couple of. You'd have to ask yourself, if Barry Ferguson was in that team, would Clement want Barry Ferguson in that team, if you know what I mean?
Aye.
It'd be interesting, you know, it's getting the blend right. You need to, a dressing room's a complicated place, Bridge, isn't it?
Yeah. It's very, very complicated. Yeah, the way Rangers' dressing room is at the present moment, it's completely different from the 50s, 60s, 70s and so on and so forth, where 100% were you know, Scottish and just about, maybe 75% Scottish, or the others were a mixture of Ulsterman or South African, English, you know, these kind of things. But in general, we're a Scottish team, and we had a big Scottish contingent in the dressing room most times. And then it's moved and moved and moved till even under Advocate, with a whole lot of Dutch players over, and they were doing very well for us. Under Souness, we had English guys in, and they're doing very well for us. And as you go move on forward again, we're never going to get these back again. I don't know why we're not getting them back again. Maybe it's because they don't have the money to buy these players in. So if you're going to go back to Scottish players, and I know people got onto me quite a lot regarding my, shall we say, my inability to concede that we've got a market in Scotland that would suit Rangers. I'll say it again, guys, and I'm sorry to bore the arse off of people, excuse the language, but really and truly, I don't want anybody to come from any other team in Scotland for a high value or high-ish value. That young lad that we've got in and out in the midfield, Connor Barnes for Aberdeen, marvellous player. What a wonderful player. We can go for wee gems like that. We can build up the youth side of it. We want to be looking there, and we need to go and we need money to be able to buy big name players. We've always needed money to do that. And many years ago in the past, you had John Lawrence, and he would dip into his money, and we had David Murray, and he would dip into his money and get us the big names, the Gazas, and so on and so forth. And
but the game's changed with financial fair
I'm saying that it's completely changed, and even now, that in the last couple of years, it's changed even further because you've got to generate your money from it internally, as opposed to your shall we say, your benefactor giving you the money. So you've got to win the money through the leagues and cup performances, and that's the truth. If you want to be extra, you need to earn the money and earn it right. I'm not saying when I say earn it, I don't mean you've got to earn it. It's got to be an income, and that income comes from the big games in Europe and cup games. And the way Rangers are playing, they might not be in Europe very much longer, and they might not get into any cup games at all. So we really need to pick ourselves up. We're actually rock bottom, and in my opinion, I think all the fans that agree with me in that, we're all concerned. We're all concerned. I was speaking to the guy that sits beside me at Ibrox, and we're worried sick. We're chatting away, and we're both worried sick. And we're worried sick only simply because it's Rangers. And this is our club we're talking about. We need to get players in that suit the club and will suit the fans. We just don't seem to have anybody. Well, and of course, this guy causing a bit of trouble at Ibrox there. That's uncalled for, and we need to get it stopped.
Cheers, Rich. Cheers, mate. Aye, it's it's about getting recruitment right, Davey, and people will say we need, I don't know, blue noses. I think Albert pointed out we started with 6 British players at the weekend, and so that sort of shoots that in the foot. But it's getting that blend right, mate.
Well, if you want to make comparisons, how many Celtic men are playing with a monkey mob?
None, I don't think. Maybe one.
What are we ranting on about playing for a jersey? We need more Rangers men. They've not got a bundle of Celtic men. It's got nothing to do with it. I know what you're coming from with that. I've seen it. I've known it for 65 years. But these guys are just no kicking about anymore.
You're saying that there's no the Scottish quality there. Is that what you're saying? There's no the quality.
Exactly, 100%. Oh, you're spot on. They're buying money. They're buying good players. We're just not at that level again. And that's another thing I'd like to mention. I don't know how we can turn around and say, well, I'm confident we'll beat the rest of them. I don't feel like that. Not from what I've seen so far. You can't turn around and say, we're going to Aberdeen, we're going to go there and go see it and win. I don't see that happening until we get our act together, guys.
GB.
I just think, David, that what I say is we've proven that we can hurt teams. We've had a couple of games now where we've only had one draw against Hearts. The rest have been wins, apart from obviously Celtic. I think we'll be able to control that throughout the season. There might be more draws than wins, Davey, but I don't think we need to worry about the rest of the league, to be honest. I still think we've got good enough talent in it. But what I say is, when you go back to this is a Celtic team, when you look at it, what I say is they've got Greg Taylor, they've got that boy Johnson. They've just been lucky with their signings. Maeda. You try to tell me that Sterling couldn't handle Maeda, or Tierney couldn't handle Greg Taylor. I mean, on paper, these guys should be easily matching these guys on the game of football. So, again, I say it again, it goes back to the tactics, and Cumont should be doing a lot better than what he's doing.
I agree with that to a point, but you've still got to have a goalkeeper that can save shots.
Yeah, that's a fair comment, Bam Bam. Listen, Big Jack came in and he started his Rangers career. He was superb for us. If I'm honest, it's been a bit March when the dip started. He's not been great neither, has he?
No, his form has dipped, but I would say he is the least of the problems. And I think maybe the form has dipped because the team dipped as well. His form dipped as well as the rest of the team. And I think better players play with better players, so I definitely think that I'd definitely say Conor Byrne, the young guy we got from Aberdeen, has been our best signing. I think a lot of people turn their nose up at talent that is in the Scottish League. I mean, Rangers really should be buying the best players in the Scottish League as a foundation for their team, and then working on from that. I mean, I've been saying it for years, and Rangers used to do it for years, so I really don't know why that has stopped. I mean, we could have got Shanklin this year. I think he does hold the ball up a lot better than Dessers. Lennon Miller we could have went for, although I think Bailey Rice could be as good, but we don't know because he doesn't get played. So I do think that the situation in terms of recruitment is we should look more inward at the start to recruit, and then you add players from abroad to supplement them players.
It's getting the blend right. Listen, I think the world's changed. I think your point is, David, that maybe the players under there in Scotland anywhere is maybe not the quality overall. Is that the point you're making, David? And then we'll bring Joan in.
Oh, 100%. That question answers itself, mate. You just answered it. Carry on, Joan.
Aye, it's
I noticed the
Conor
chemistry.
Byrne.
I noticed the chemistry between you two. It's amazing. It's
I know.
It's that perfume you're wearing, John. It's that perfume. I can smell it here.
Sorry, Davey. I
It's
think you might find that's me.
Excuse me, it's called obsession.
He gets 3 points.
I see you're Conor Byrne. You're not going to have many of them coming along, just the way he did, and just slot into his team the way he did. And the guy's he's doing well. He's definitely doing well for us. You can't say he's no because he is.
That guy when he's 24, 25. I mean, look what he's doing now. I mean, when that guy's, as long as he's coached right and all the rest of it, keeps himself right, in another few years that guy's going to be an absolutely brilliant player for us.
That's right. You should send some of the land boys there. That would be fine.
Aye. Conor Byrne's been a hit in a team that's hardly won a game. I think that was the point that Davey was making. I think we've won 3 out of 7. 2 draws and 2 defeats, So he's been the shining light, if we're honest, GB.
He's carried on his form that he had at Aberdeen, and he's brought it to here, and he's took on the instruction of the manager. We just need to see him keep progressing, Ox, and that will come down to the coaching team. We need to see him. We need to see other players progress, like Sam McCausland. I mean, he's been running about the first team long enough, Ox, to know how the team works, how they pass the ball and all the rest of it. Again, at the weekend, it seemed to be that he didn't have the understanding. And this seems to be a kind of common theme throughout the team, that they're still no up to speed with how players are playing and stuff like that, which again comes back to the pre-season for me, Ox, that managers should have had all this nailed going in at the start of the season.
Yeah. Is that some of the frustration the manager's getting then, Davey? Because he says he'll be a fitter team and we'll sort of the injuries, we get them fitness and some of the things somebody came to fruition and we don't go any further than we did this time last year. So people are saying, well, talk's cheap. We want to see results, yeah?
Yeah, you're spot on. But you've been mentioning it for quite a while now. You've got to get them out to get them in. And we've not been able to do that. So that's nothing to do with the manager. That's who we can't move on, who he can't get in. So you've got to look at the big picture. We're not looking at the big picture. We're just forgetting about all these things and thinking, let's see what we can do next. It doesn't work that way.
We got 16 out, Davey. 16 out since the end of last season.
Aye, but who's all left with the big money?
There's still some players that are only performing for us on a regular basis. You've got maybe people with Throw Matondo and obviously Tom Lawrence will be in decent money. Danilo's in decent money. Unluckily injured, and there's still people on big money for Scottish football who aren't delivering, Bridgeman, then Joan.
Yeah, everything the guys have said in the last 10 minutes or so is all true and agreed with in a variety of agreements. People want to see the shall we say, Rangers, our club. We want to see our club go forward, and that in all fronts. So we want to get good players in, and Conor Barnes is most assuredly a shining light so far. But he's not really what I would see. He's not Barry Ferguson. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the skills that will be able to take him forward up to the last 40 yards, and move up forward into the box. But I don't expect that from Conor Barnes. But I do expect him to be doing shall we say, an Ian Ferguson type role, not quite as shall we say, adventurous with his tackles or anything like that. But I think Conor Barnes does a good job of sweeping up in the midfield there and passing the ball forward. I think he does a great job for us. And the big fella Sterling should be able to work with him. And we need the number 10s or number 8s or whatever numbers you want up there just in front of him. A Barry Ferguson role, running into the box and carrying the ball and making things happen. That's what we need. We don't have it. Diamondi looks as if he's going to be a smashing midfielder, but I don't know when it's going to blossom into the smashing role. But I do like him. I like him, and I like most of the players. I like Jeffy, left back. I think he's going to be a good player for us. We know where the hiccups are for us. We got a weak central defensiveness in our club, and it's been there for years. The only good one there we had was Big Duke Goldson. Goldson was a rock for us, and unfortunately, in the last 6 months, he started to fall away, and we've got what we've got now. And Tavernier was well supported by Goldson, truth be told. But we don't have Goldson anymore.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
We don't have him. We need people like Goldson, but we're looking for somebody a bit tougher and so on and so forth, because to allow centre forwards or inside forwards or midfield to walk into your space on a football pitch and you don't do anything with them or to them, it's not right. We need to be able to watch for space. Who's in our space? Right, go and get them. That kind of thing. We allow people to run all the way 20, 30 yards round on the edge to the edge of the box and then further. And we need to stop. That needs to stop. It might be coaching, but it shows you that even when you talk these wee things, it becomes quite important to talk that through. And I just don't see Rangers doing that.
Cheers, mate. John, I think the point Bridge is making, we're too nice, we're no streetwise. Maybe some of the players just aren't good enough.
There's no, and even the foreign players that we've brought in, there's no really many we can see are standing out. They've been here now a wee while, and they've just it's no there. It's no gelling with the rest of the team. can the players themselves are no gelling with the rest of the team.
You've got your thoughts on that, GB?
Ox, like I says, I think most of the team have been together a decent amount of time now, Ox, and they should have an understanding how each other make runs, how they press together, how they defend together, who's picking up who. I think, to be fair to young Barn and Tierney at the weekend there, they didn't seem to be on the same wavelength because they weren't ready for the pass. Yefty, with Matondo didn't really work either. And then you had, let's say, Big Dessers up front when the ball fell for his chances. I think in fact, you had McCausland and Tierney getting in front of each other as well for a chance. So to be, again, that looks very amateurish, Ox. Well, this should be ironed out on the training run. They should know where to be and not getting each other's road. It's all about the benefit of the team. It's about getting goals. And again, comes back to coaching, comes back to tactics. And that's where the Clermont's disappointed me, Ox. I thought it would be a lot better than that. I thought it would be able to change it in-game as well. Granted, you can go gun-ho maybe the first half or something like that. But if it's not working, you've got to be adaptable, Ox. You've got to try and work to your strengths to, like I say, get the result or some result out of the game.
Davey?
Yeah, boy's right. I've mentioned it before, and I've said it. The games that we've had so far have came too early for us. Far, far too early. Where we are at the moment as a team. And that's not helped us. I'm okay. We should be trying better. Good, but it's just not working out like that. But I still think that's been a big hurdle to get over. We've not got over the hurdle. Just these games came too fast for us. Too early, I should say. Sorry.
I get what you're saying, But you've got to play all these teams at some time. Maybe the European qualifiers are a bit different, but right, I get it. The supercomputer, the first 4 games in the league, we played the first and the third away from home. You know, obviously you can't help bad luck, maybe not. But however, you've got to play them at some time, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do, and I have to agree with GB. I mean, the manager earns his money during the week. He has to coach these players and set them up. And if I think we weren't ready for these games coming up after the international break, we've got a hell of a lot of games coming up in Europe and in the league. Mm-hmm. So they would need to be ready because we're going to be in big trouble if they're not.
Yeah,
but Bam, that all depends on if you're good enough. You can be ready and not ready. There's a difference between being ready and not good enough.
Yeah, well, you're saying not good enough, but if they're not good enough, the manager still has to set them up to try and get a result. You can't just go into a game and say, "Oh, we're not good enough." We still have to be coached.
Yeah, I know that, but you've got to have good enough players to do it. Walter Smith could do it. But you look at the team Walter Smith's part to bus with. You look at Goff and RM and look at that team. Clermont's not get that. He's not even get anywhere near
That's the problem with recruitment then, isn't it?
It's what he can only play what he's got at the moment.
I don't know if we're going to... remember when we signed Goff, I can't remember exactly what it was, £1 million, £1.5 million. It was up there with the British record. Where would you be going to sign that now? What is it? For a defender, 80 million? You know, you've got to put it in context.
I mean, you have to play the cards you're dealt with, you know.
Yes.
We'd all like better players. We'd all like better players. I agree. Definitely. But this is the squad we have now until January. The manager is going to have to earn his money here.
Mm-hmm. Listen, particularly GB with the transfer window, you've got what you've got, and you're stuck to the next one.
Yeah, well, you said that good enough, but if they're not good enough, the manager is going to have to earn his money here.
I listen, particularly GB with the transfer window, you've got what you've got, and you're stuck to the next one.
I mean, he said it's a collective, so he's helped sign off on the signings that's came in. He was the one that said that had to think of the long term as well as the short term. Well, we got a lot of the long term in, and then the next minute he says we'll need to wait to the end of the transfer window before we can bring in the short term players, and we failed. We basically failed in that. We've got a guy that's coming in again for. He's not tried and tested yet. We don't know if he's got to hit the ground running. We've got a young boy who came in on a £2 million fee supposedly, who wasn't fit for even the first team fit. But I mean, for me, to be honest, guys, it comes back to the quality of your backroom team and all. I mean, you look at Steven Gerrard came in, the amount of signings that he made, and he had to get us ready for qualifying for Europe because it was so important to get us back in the Europa League. And his coaching staff was able to get a structure in place, an understanding throughout the full squad, and we looked fit and ready to go for day one, right after pre-season. And that was a continual thing under Gerrard.
That Michael Beale was a genius, wasn't
he? a genius coach, but no a manager.
I just love it.
But you look at his defensive coaches and all that he brought with him, Ox, Gary McAllister and all the rest of it. Well, that says that all of them.
That was some feat that Gerrard done that season with that group of players that he inherited in 2018 and got them into Europa League and competed in that competition. You know, we were very, very unlucky not getting the group stages with that group of players in these circumstances. It was some feat, Davey.
Yeah, it was some feat, but with a lot of luck, but he just seemed to have that behind being Gerrard, and that's the difference. I mean, I'm listening to what people are saying about comparisons. You can't keep going back to comparisons to what he was like then and what we've got. We've got what we've got. It's like talking about parking the bus. We've not even got a moped to park. So that's the difference. You've got to have the quality. Yeah, that's bottom line, and that's got to happen, whether we like it or not.
John, the best players don't always make the best team. It's about getting a blend.
Correct.
Oh, I've lost John this year.
Hello, sorry.
All right, I thought you'd lost your tongue there, John.
No, as I say, I would have thought Vermont could bring out the best and the best out the players that he's brought in, and I'm not saying that. I haven't seen it.
There's between fitness and no playing in their positions, and his proper come in and he hasn't finished. He started 2 games and no finished them.
Well, that's right. I've got a couple of videos on my phone. My son plays.
Listen, John, this is live. If you want to send it to Dave.
No, you're all right.
To you. Yeah.
You're all right. I'll look close the line.
Right, go on then.
No, I was going to say the couple of videos I've got. My grandson plays for Armadale Royal.
Right.
And he's a goalkeeper, He's injured right enough. He's got a Syrian, but however, I was watching the videos of them training. And where were they? Gillane. Up and down the hills, and I'm going to myself, I was tired watching them. And I thought, my God, they've still got guys going there yet. I mean, I think half their team would die if they went there to train. It wouldn't happen. I mean,
I don't think you're right with Hoff. I think it'd be a lot more than that. Bam Bam.
Yeah, you look at the Scottish at the minute, the Scottish League. It hasn't even got a reserve league. I mean, I remember back when they had a reserve league, an Old Firm reserve fixture would have got, a big crowd. These young guys can't even get you can't even get a game. There's no reserve league or no setup for youth players. I mean, it's ridiculous, really.
Why do you think that is, Bam Bam? Why? Why do we not have a reserve league?
Well, obviously it's to do with money, but I mean, you're talking about people need to sit around and say, we need to develop this league. We need to get together here. Our coefficient probably this season is going to take a bit of a beating. Everybody in Europe here, we're going to have to sit. The Scottish League is going to have to say, listen, the league needs to be bigger for a start. We need to have a reserve league for young players to play in.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more about that, mate. Yeah. The league needs to get bigger. I think the experiment of, what is it, it's 50 years now, of 4 times a season. The split, I don't know any punter that likes it, Davey, if I'm honest.
Oh, we've talked about this some times. It's farcical. And we all know where it's coming from. And there's nothing we can do because we're stuck with that lot. If ever there was a league, I mean, this 4 games a season against each other, and then getting you same team maybe in the Scottish, same team in the League Cup. Nah, it's a shambolic setup. But it's only been set up for one reason, and that's for finance to who's making the money out of it. And it's football's just went down the stank regarding it, and unfortunately, it's not everybody's cup of tea, and everybody I've listened to, they've no time for it.
It's quite a difficult one, that, Oxter. You know, it is, you're right, and we should be expanding the league, get it up to 18 or 20 teams in the league, in the Scottish League, and we only play each other twice. And but I think that would be great, aspirational with most leagues in the country and in Europe. And I think it'd be really good for us, for Scottish League. But what you're being driven by, the need for Celtic and Rangers to play each other more than twice a season, guaranteed. They need to play each other more than twice, because in the league, that's the only way they can do it, because that's the ones that are going to generate the TV cash. Maybe you know it, and I know it, and I don't like to denigrate anyone, but seriously, I don't think there's any company will pay top dollar to film our league or to show our league, and without Rangers and Celtic playing it.
But they're not. The TV deal we've got isn't influencing Scottish football, Bridge. It's only helping keep it afloat. It's not helping it. It's not growing.
No, but I'm saying that's the only way you got it. Is that the Rangers and Celtic are guaranteeing the TV companies 4 games a season, right? At least 4 Old Firm games, and that's the big crowd puller in Scotland. But if you only have 2 of them guaranteed, then that might cause a wee problem. I personally don't care about them in that sense, but I would like to see a league with 18 or 20 teams in it, and let's go and see what we can do. Because I'm sure we could. We might not provide scintillating football like the English Premiership, but we should be able to do it a lot better and be a lot more competitive ourselves as a league.
Just in the flip coin, just for the fans and not for the TV audience, could it be a bigger game if it was only back to twice a season, Bridge?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at the old stadiums that we had, both them and us, we filled our stadium up, twice a season. You know what I mean? Or once a season, and it was just magic. It really was, And you're talking about, Ibrox was 80-something thousand. You get 80,000 in it. And obviously we went there and we played with 40,000 or 30,000 or 20,000 against the smaller teams. But when Celtic were over, it was full. So you get 80,000. And that was the same at their end. Now it's completely different. But I just don't know what Scottish football is going to do.
It's maybe we've got maybe the international Brexit still got a wee while to go, but I get it. Maybe it'd be a bigger game. What would you think, John? Would it be a bigger game if we only played twice a season? Maybe even more marketable?
I'm not sure. Because, well, as you say, that's the main two teams. The Rangers, Celtic. That's what really generates the money coming in to the. But no, I'm not.
At least we really have to dread playing them twice a season.
There's a bit of sense in that, bit of sense in that at the moment. But I'm sure. I mean, according to Mr. Doncaster, everything's hunky-dory, but I don't know. I don't think the TV deals are great, Davey. I don't think the infrastructure is great. As Bam pointed out, there's no reserve league. There's no, there's nothing to help you develop players if you're interested in Scottish football. If you're interested, we're only really interested in Rangers. But we're not developing boys, are we? Let's be honest.
No, you're right. The bottom line is it boils down to Rangers and Celtic. The other teams don't want to just play us twice. They want us to play us 4 times. But they don't want to play Queen of the South, Partick Thistle, Air United. They don't want teams like that. That's why they don't want to expand that.
Correct.
They want to keep the money they're getting at the moment for Rangers. So they're getting most of their revenue for them.
That's right. That's true.
Look what happened when they put us down to the 4th tier of football, and there was panic stations throughout the whole league because it didn't go the way they expected it to go, which is we would be relegated one league down to the Championship or whatever it was. But no, we were put down at the 4th. My God, they moved heaven and earth to get Rangers on the telly. No matter who we were playing, no matter where it was, Rangers would be on the telly. And the rest of the team, that's at 3 leagues above, they couldn't. The telly looked as if they couldn't actually care about them because or they just want to big audience, isn't it? So they followed us.
The whole league lasted 9 months without his bridge.
Correct.
9 months.
9 months. Yeah.
Renegotiate the telly deal because it was nothing without the Rangers. They've got short memories. These people, GB, isn't they?
No, Iox, and like I says, the script was great for us, and like I says, when we come calling for the players and all the rest of it, they seem to bump up the price and all. I mean, I heard something ridiculous about the Shankland thing that Hearts were wanting $3 million for a player that's ready to be out of contract come January. So it just shows you the mindset of them. Like you says, mate, it's probably a good debate for another night because for me personally, I think it would be good for the Old Firm to have the 2B teams right down to the bottom league and then be allowed to get promoted to the Championship only. You know what I mean? Like that kind of way, just the progression throughout the leagues, but they can't get into the top league. Then you have, like I say, you would have maybe the Championship even start to claw in some money through the Old Firm B teams and all that. If you're a business person, that's what I would be doing.
Well, if you can, I just ask a question on that? How many levels of football have Rangers got? So they've got obviously the top team. Then what have we got after that?
B team, mate.
The B team. And then what's that after that?
Well, the youth team, mate.
The youth team. And next?
Yeah, well, you're into the youth setup, mate. Under
Youth
16s and below.
Okay. I don't think you could throw the youths into professional level football. I was just meaning we could be put 3 teams in, 3 Rangers teams in, because we're in the Premiership, that kind of thing,
I don't think that would work.
Yeah, Rangers are investing a lot of money into these youth teams and these B teams, and we're investing this money into these teams, and they don't even have a league to play in.
Yeah, it's mental. Anyway.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, mate, I know. We've reached that time of the evening, and it was great to hear from you on. We'll go on and get everybody's last words, and we'll start with the happy couple. So, always ladies first. So, David, on you go.
I think he was going to say that.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Carry on, John, carry on. Don't listen to him.
Carry on, John.
Thank you very much for having me too.
Well said, John. Well said.
And come
John.
on, the Rangers.
Cheers, John. Good to have you on. David.
Aye, pleasure, guys. Always a pleasure. Great company tonight. Good debate. I'll just give you a wee stat before I leave. Rangers holds a world record attendance for a third-tier league game at Ibrox. I think it was 48,500. And there's no other team on the planet could do that. So
I was there.
I was there, I know.
Aye.
But there you go. So anyway, thanks again, guys, and keep the heads up. We are the people, and we never surrender. So good night.
No surrender.
Cheers. Cheers, David boy. Bam, bam.
Yeah, just a big shout out to all the Pakenham Rangers Supporters Club. We'll be back again soon, and keep it going.
Cheers, mate. Good to hear from you, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers. GB.
Aye, Ox, thanks for having us on night. Good debate, and feel a wee bit more optimistic after a week of international football. Hopefully the following week will be ready and rare.
I feel as if we could have a stag night and go to GB the way it's gone.
But great night, great night, and hopefully we'll see the Rangers back soon enough.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Bridgeman.
What can I say? A magic night. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope I wasn't coughing and interrupting people and things like that. Maybe interrupting, but you know what I mean. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Great night. Well done to yourself, Oxshare, and your techie team in the background. Wonderful stuff. And for GB to carry me through, well done, pal, and thank you. And I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, this is my team and your team. We are the people. Keep it going for the Rangers all the way through. Keep it going.
Can I thank Joan, Davey and Bam Bam who joined us on the show. Particular shout out to Bam Bam who I've not heard from for a long time. Great to hear him on. Thanks to Bridge and GB for doing the show. All School Blue for doing the technicals while Fox and somebody's sabbatical. Thanks for listening, everybody. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, All School Blue.